guys, David Ronson here. Today I put together a blog post on the topic of elevation markers for sloped systems. It's been a common question for the fabrication line of products. How do we get that point? Typically, we can only get the connector 1 or the connector 2, but we can't get the elevation where the grid line passes through that system. What I'm proposing is, how about this solution? What I've done is I've built an elevation marker out of one of the fabrication items. It's just basically a zeroed out fitting. I've put in the product list, all the different pipe sizes, up to 60. I hope you're not doing 60-inch drainage, but I went that high anyway. Everything zeroed out. I've got not much going on here. And here I've got the specification and a material applied, as well as an index. I've got a do not report in note, so this doesn't show up in my reports. And I've given it a specific service type of elevation marker, and I do not have any connectors. So being that it's a fabrication part, what I can do is I can do a takeoff as cut in. And doing a takeoff as cut in, it'll slide along uh, the part that you're trying to get the elevation of, and we can just snap to that grid line, regardless if it's above or if it's below. Um, that fitting is going to land directly on the pipe itself. The doing a takeoff and cut in would typically break the connection. It would basically, you would end up with two pieces of pipe with a fitting in between. Well, in this instance, this isn't going to do that. You're still going to have one consistent piece of pipe. Do undo and put that back. And I'm going to do a takeoff as cut in and over here. So what about in this instance? Your pipe doesn't run parallel with the grid line. Nearest isn't going to work because I can be nearest up here and it's not going to be directly over. So let's use the parent intersection. Parent intersection is going to snap right to it. And now we can get a bottom of pipe directly over top that grid line. We'll do it one more time here. All right, and now I can select my level text and tag them. So when this goes out to the field, they can know that at this point, when we go over the grid, we need to be at 23 feet 10 and a half inches. At this point, we're going to be at 24. And at this point, we're going to be at 24 2 1/16. All right. So if we go look at this from an elevation standpoint, all right, so the grid is down here at 0, 0, but my fittings are snapping to the system itself just because that's the nature of fabrication. That's how it works. All right, so a couple things to note. I have made a separate elevation marker for each of my drainage material types. Um, because of the way fabrication works, we want to make sure we get the bottom of pipe based on the material width. Um, Obviously, cast iron is going to be different from PVC, and PVC is going to be different from copper. If you do ABS, you're going to want to have one for ABS as well. Um, and you can apply it just like you regularly would a regular fitting. In the service, you can give it some parameters. All right, so I've got a no hub cast iron, and I've got a copper system here. Anything less than 1.5 is going to be copper. Anything greater is going to be cast iron, and you can apply those into the fitting itself like you regularly would, so they don't get mixed up. Also, because it does have its own separate service type, you're going to want to have to add it into the service itself. Um, I gave it its own layer information, and I am using the same level block that I would use on pipework. If you wanted these to stand out in their own specific, unique kind of way for the field, you could just add a elevation marker into the block or something along those lines, and it'll stand out, and they'll know this is something unique in a unique situation. Uh, Hopefully this is useful for you. Um, it's not a perfect solution, but it is a viable solution. Uh, we are always interested in the best way to get things done. So if you have a better way, or if you have an idea about a better way to get this done, please leave your comments. I'm all ears. I like to be challenged with something new all the time. So hopefully you find this intriguing and possibly something that you'd be willing to implement.